Hey there, podcasters. Brian Colburn coming to you from idpodcastthat.com. So, one of my New Year's resolutions is doing more and more live shows, and this is live. So, please forgive any stutters or stumbles I may happen to have throughout this, but it's a skill that I want to refine. So for this upcoming year, at least half of my episodes will be done live. And that is one of the goals I've set for the new year. But first and foremost, happy holidays. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a great holiday season. And hope you have great plans for the New Year's that is upcoming. And with New Year's comes New Year's resolutions and goals. So I'm not big on New Year's resolutions, but I am big on goals. So step number one for having a goal is write it down. Whether you use a day planner, a whiteboard, stickies on the wall, write your goal down. Break that goal up into measurable parts and work on them. At least weekly, you should be moving that football down the field. If it's a massive goal, then breaking it down into manageable parts is very, very important. And write those parts down. So your goal is X, step 1 is A, 2 is B, 3 is C, so on and so forth. That way you can chisel away at A till it's done, then move on to B, and you're moving that football down the field. So that is my talk on goals. But set your goals high. You should be a little stressed out to achieve them. If it's a mediocre goal, you know, the motivation to get it done just isn't there. If it's a goal you can accomplish in an hour, that's a task. It's not really a goal. So set your goals big and bold. And, you know, as they say, reach for the stars. And if you only hit the moon, you did good. I want to briefly talk about web and ADA compliance. If your podcast has a website, you might want to look into what you can do to make it more and more ADA compliant. Twofold. And we have talked about this before, but number one, the more people that can access and navigate your website, the larger you can grow your show. So that should be motivation in and of itself. But secondly, it's also law. And you don't want to be fined. You don't want a lawsuit levied against your website. So try to navigate and utilize your site without a mouse. That's step one. Step two is ensuring you have alt tags and alt descriptions on your images, captions if need be, that you're using title tags for anything that's clickable so accessibility readers can actually interpret what you intend your user to do. So those are two things you can do right off the bat. If you can't tab or space bar and use your up and down arrows to navigate your website, start working on that. Make that one of your goals for the new year. A lot of the drag and drop editors are having issue with this. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but for example, there is a drag and drop website provider out there that claims their software is ADA compliant. However, you could tab through navigation, but you couldn't really tab through sub-navigation, nor could you tab into and through the social icons as that's offered as part of their drag and drop platform. So these things are important. And again, it's going to make your site, therefore your show, more accessible to a larger audience. And it's can be painstaking. Just alt tagging images. I mean, if your site's been up for a couple of years and you have 100+ shows, every single image on your website needs alt tags, alt descriptions, etc. So that's a good place to start. If you're in a WordPress platform, there are several free plugins that'll, get you started. You can find free services online that will take a look at your site page by page and provide you a score and a list of what's wrong, and you can start chiseling away at that. But ADA compliance is only going to become a larger and larger issue with the web, and it's one thing that I feel is important, again, just for making your show more accessible to a larger audience. We are in the middle of migrating EM Weekly off of their own web platform and completely onto Sitch Radio. So take a look at that and let us know what you think. Obviously, we're not going to have all the bells and whistles that emweekly.com did have. However, they are going to be able to offer their podcasts and transcripts and have a subpage. For example, right now, there's a free webinar on mass communications. If you're involved in emergency management, come on over and check it out. But we're in the middle of that migration, and we're kind of excited about that at Sitch Radio. This will be the first mass migration over. Sugar and Strong, they're on Sitch Radio, but they also have and maintain their own web platform. So it's more of a discoverability engine at that point in time. But we're pretty excited about EM Weekly coming over. And we are happy to announce that Sitch Radio is partnering with the Warrior Built Foundation in Lake Elsinore, California. They have a music room, and that music room has acoustic tiling. It has instruments, speakers, a beautiful mixing board, and we're reconfiguring a few things, and that will become a Sitch Radio podcast studio for the Lake Elsinore area. And we're working on having an office here in the Orange County area as well. If you need Sitch Radio to come to you, we can arrange that, and or we can meet at a mutually convenient shared workspace to record your episodes, and or you can call in via the internet, via VoIP and or cell phone, and they can record your show that way as well. But we're up full force. We want to bring more shows to the forefront, and we've got 4 brand new shows that are in planning phases right now. So we're excited to be growing. Once those 4 shows are out, we're going to double our current offerings as is. But we're happy to announce the Warrior Built Studios at the Warrior Built Foundation's facility in Lake Elsinore. It's going to be a great location to meet. So if you live in, the Temecula Valley area, all the way up to Corona, it'll be a great place to come down and record some high quality audio. So with all of that having been said, I am going to sign off for the day. I appreciate you listening to I'd Podcast That. And again, this is Brian. Till next time, talk soon.